having shown you how to find all the measures of central tendency, what I would now like to show you is how to do these on the calculator. It is important, I would love for you to understand how to do them all by hand. Understanding how they are calculated gives you a higher level of understanding, of course. But I do want you to also understand that the calculator will find most of these for you. In fact, it will help you for all of them, although it won't tell you every single one of them. So this is a tool to make sure that we've calculated it correctly. That's the way I like to think about it. Measures of central tendency, whenever we're dealing with a large data, a set of numbers, a data set, is called statistics. So on our calculator, we're going to go to our Stat button. Now, we need to put these numbers in. That's called editing. We're going to enter all the numbers. If there are numbers in your list, go all the way to the top, all the way to the top until you're on list 1. Then you're going to hit clear and the down arrow. Alright? Should take all those numbers out at once. Okay, let's put these numbers in. 54, 60, 49, 54, 76, 68, 50, 62, 60, 76, 51, 48, 80, 73, 65, and 60. And I usually at the very least make sure I have the right amount of numbers in. I don't want to make, I hope I didn't miss any numbers or repeat any numbers. I did in fact have 16 numbers in my data set. So it says L1 16. It means I'm on top of 16. When I go here, it's empty. It says 17, but it's empty. So I in fact have 16 numbers in here. But really the best thing to do is I go back through each one of them and I put one finger on my button on my calculator and I look right here, and then I put on the down arrow right here, and then I just go through each one. 60, actually I'm going up this time because I'm starting at the bottom. So 60, 65, 73, 80, 48, 51, 76, 60, 62, 50, 68, 76, 54, 49, 60, 54, and now I'm at the top of the list. So like I always tell you guys, if you're asking the calculator to do the work for you, your one very important job is to make sure you've entered the correct number. So I always double check that. Okay, now what I want to do is I want the calculator to calculate. To do that, I'm going to go back to the Stat button. Get back to the screen. Now I've already entered my numbers, so I'm done with editing. Now I want to calculate. I want the calculator to make the calculations. So I go over to the right with this button. One variable statistics. What that means is I have one list of numbers. Okay, and that's what I want. I can either push number 1 or enter. This should be on list 1. Last time I used it, I changed it. Okay, so actually let me go back out. Start again. Stat. Go over to calculate. One variable statistics. So enter. And like I said, unless you've changed it, this should all just be automatically where you want it. Just hit enter, enter, enter until you get this list of numbers. Okay? Alright. The very first number here was the mean. Okay, so on your calculator, the symbol for mean is this. Now when you get into algebra, that's a very different symbol on the formula sheet, so make sure you know which one that is. So that is the symbol on the calculator when you do it. Okay, very first one. Alright, there's a bunch of stuff on this page, and you're not going to use any of this until well, you use some of it now later in Algebra 1. But here's the mean, the first one. This symbol means the sum Okay, that's what we got when we added them all together. This is the sum of the squares. You might use that in doing standard deviations. That's another kind of standard deviation, like sample standard deviation, I think. Okay, here's standard deviation. You use that a lot in algebra. Okay, so, but for what I showed you right now, the only one you care about is the first one. Now, there's an arrow. An arrow. N means how many numbers you had in the data set, by the way. The arrow means there's more information here, so we are more interested in what's at the bottom. Let's go all the way down. Okay, I go all the way till I can't stop. Alright, the next thing, the median was here as well, 60. So on the calculator, MED is the median, and we found 60 when we did it by hand. Okay, the mode is not here, but I will show you a trick to help find it. The range was the difference between the largest and the smallest. So on the calculator, the smallest is right here, the minimum x, 48, that's what we had for the smallest. And the maximum x, that's 80, that's the largest. So on your calculator, you're going to do the max x minus the min x, the minimum. Okay, and that will give you the answer. So it helps you find the smallest and largest. Now back to mode. There's something else we can do here in the calculator. If you go back to your stat key, underneath edit you have two sorting options. Sort A means sort ascending, so small to big, and sort D means sort descending, big to small. It really doesn't matter. I usually do this one, sort A. Number 2. Okay, now you do have to tell it what list you want to use. So right here in blue is L1, list 1. That's the list that we put it in. So second, list 1. I always use list 1 so I don't forget to change it back to list 1 when I use it the next time. Okay, it says it's done, so let's go look. So go back to stat, go back into edit. Alright, now that my numbers are in order, it helps me find the mode. So I'm looking through here and I'm like, okay, 54 is there 2 times. 60 is there 3 times, so now I'm on 3. I don't care about 54. 76 only 2 times. Okay, so 60 is in fact my mode. It was there 1, 2, 3 times. And that's what we found when we did it by hand. Okay.